as to how I achieved where I am today. I grew up in Texas. I'm a Texan by birth. You always see me, I have boots on, so I have boots on today. I am from a family of educators, mother, grandparents, teachers, principals, and I said that education would not be the journey that I would take. I always wanted to be a medical surgeon, and I had begun that journey. And I started it very young by engaging in after-school programs, of course being directed by parents to engage and be active. They always said a mind that is not engaged is a mind that's going to get in trouble. So to find something to do. So I was in Upward Bound, which is a trio program that works with a lot of youth in grades 9 through 12. And it was housed at Purdue University, which was 50 miles from my home. But my mother made sure that I got there 3 times a month. So 3 times a month, and then in the summertime, spend 8 weeks. So that gave me no time to do some things that perhaps I would want to do. But through that experience, it introduced me to the sciences, where I became very excited and passionate. I had a chance to lead African-American faculty at Purdue in the sciences that allowed me to observe and to inquire about STEM and if I could do it and the opportunities that existed. And I had a chance to also meet some young men and women that were beginning their pre-med into preparing for medical school. So it said to me, I could do this too. So upon finishing high school, I did go to Purdue and did very well. Earned my bachelor's in biology, chemistry with a pre-med focus, and then applied to med school. And in my first few weeks of college, I should say, within a month in college, my mother was in a very critical accident. My brother and I, sister were in college. With her being our primary provider, I had to determine what could I do or what could we do together. But from her bed, she encouraged us to stay focused and stay connected. And we stayed in college. And she went through a tremendous amount of rehabilitation. Being the only child, there were no aunts and uncles, just her mother that was still living, that was up in age. I finished college, my brother finished college. I went off to University of Texas in San Antonio, and that's when I got a call stating that my grandmother had passed, and I had to make a decision, and I went back home because we were not going to put mother into a nursing home. And that's when I started teaching high school science. So I took a stop on my journey to med school and came home to teach and take care of mother. And then teaching science, I realized that I was pretty good at it. And I taught at Urban High School, became Teacher of the Year, and the principal saw something in me and said, you should consider administration. I said, no, I've got to figure out a way to get into med school. So while in my teaching, I went back and earned my master's in biology, since I was teaching biology, and then in education, so that it would help justify what I was doing. During that time, I had a chance to go to the dentist, and I shared with him my challenge. He was an African-American prominent dentist in Houston. And I said, you know, I always wanted to go to med school and be an emergency medical surgeon, but I just don't know how I can do it now. He said, well, you ever think of dentistry? I said, never have. And I did some research, took the exam, passed it, applied to one school that happened to be in Houston, 5 miles from our home. So that's what got me into that journey into dental school. But 2 years into it, I realized this isn't the medical surgery that I want, but I'm going to stick to it because I'm in it and I'm going to complete it. And I did. And through that journey, I became Dental Student of the Year, did some research on Listerine, and that back in the 80s, Listerine was talking about killed germs on contact, and I wanted to understand exactly what it was, and also did something on the orange lozenges, if you remember the lozenges, and where would they have them located? Right at the counter when you would check out. Do you see them anymore? But what was happening was with that, when you suck on it, it began to break down your enamel. So after a while, that was some of the research that I was able to find out on the acidity that was in that. So it showed that I could also do the research, got a scholarship to help me finish dental school. Then I left and went to University of Rochester to do postdoctoral work and to work at Eastman Dental School and Anthony Jordan Healthcare Center. I was said to be an excellent dentist, excellent clinician, and I had a chance while there met a young lady, and she asked if I would come and be a mentor to urban youth. They were trying to increase the representation of underrepresented, economic disadvantaged, first-time college students in STEM. And I said, I have to do that because someone helped me. I don't know how I can do it with my rotation at the hospital, but I'm going to make an effort to do it. And it was through that experience that reconnected me to education, because I began to see a light go out in so many eyes, the young men that I work with, who would come in and bluntly tell me what they were not going to do. And I would bluntly say, well, I'll show you what you will do. And I was much younger, but a spitfire. So I've always been known as that disciplinarian, that one that would really push a student to achieve. And when I was in preparation to return to Texas, the college approached me and asked if I would consider a one-year appointment to come and help them open a new center that looked at STEM and healthcare for underrepresented youth. And I said, yes, I'll commit 1 year to go in and support you with this effort. 24 years later, I never looked back, because I began to reconnect with a passion to really do justice, to show our young men and women that you can achieve, regardless of the destination that we may think we want to go. We have a passion and the skill and ability to achieve. It is through that mentorship, that encouragement that I met through Dr. Betty Jo Hopkins, who was one of the first African-American females to earn a PhD in biophysics from the University of Rochester. And she mentored me and said, you may have a great opportunity if you choose to stay in higher education. And I said, Dr. Hopkins, I don't think that's anything I'm going to consider, but I do appreciate it. And in her own way, she began to put me on appointment on committees to do projects. And everyone would speak about how I presented in the details of presentation. 4 years later, they opened and built a brand new campus, and I was called and asked if I would serve as this acting urban campus executive. Of course, I was honored, and I accepted the challenge to do it. 1 year into it, I realized I liked this. Search opens again, I apply, and I get the job. So after serving in that capacity, I transitioned to Virginia, where I served as a provost for a college that served 45,000 students, with the goal that I made up my mind that I wanted to be a college president, and to be able to lead, change, introduce programs, offer the support that would ensure a college growth and development, and be able to be a change agent and a role model for persons that look like me. I've served, this is my second presidency. I was president in Schenectady County Community College in Schenectady, New York, where I transformed a community college that was on the decline to be one of the leading colleges in the State University of New York. We built 2 additional centers, our first residence halls, launched several new programs, and put the college on the map. So when this opportunity opened here in Pittsburgh, I thought, well, this may be my last one, my last journey, to come to what I identify as a leading college for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 4 campuses, 4 centers serving almost 50,000 students. So to be an aspiring leader, African American, I'm honored to be in this role and to offer direction, address the challenges, and to really make a positive difference. So when I look at the opportunities relevant to the global economy and the importance of education, look at where the U.S. is in that range, in the top 25, and then I look at how can we now inspire our young men and women that are in the educational pathways to ensure that they engage in some level of education, and and to understand what college means. It's not necessarily always the four-year degree, but it is education. You must do some level of education and preparation. And what we are encouraging now is for our young men and women to engage before college in programs that will allow them to pre-test and to identify the areas of deficiency and take advantage of programs while in high school to address those deficiencies relevant to reading, writing, and mathematics. And why do I say that? Almost 50% of our students come to college and have to spend a year or more in developmental course credit that does not go toward any degree, a significant amount of money. But if we get them to pre-test while in high school, they will come college ready and go right into their coursework to achieve their college degree. When you compare public education and you're determining where to go, I always look at how do you minimize the debt. If you take the first 2 years at a community college, and speaking relevant to national numbers and statistics, you can save about $19,000 by completing the first 2 years when you compare the first 2 years at a public institution. If you take 2 years and compare it to a private university, you're saving about $54,000. And you're earning your associates, and you can transfer it to a four-year college of choice to complete your bachelor's degree at that college of choice. That does not change your long-term goal of interest. So I encourage our students to really explore the areas that are growing in high demand: IT, healthcare, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. These are the future. Advanced manufacturing technology, in this area of natural gas and oil, and the list goes on. So it's unlimited. In Pittsburgh Public Schools, of course, you have an opportunity to engage in dual enrollment courses that's paid by Pittsburgh Promise dollars. So if you are a Pittsburgher, I encourage you to identify opportunities that will allow you to engage in that study now. If you consider this community college as your next step, I have an open door policy. I engage with students and talk, I mentor, and offer any assistance and guidance that I can provide to ensure their success. I enjoy what I do and will do anything I can to see anyone achieve their educational goals. So on behalf of the college, faculty, and staff, and the Board of Trustees, and today's guests, I welcome you to the Community College of Allegheny County, the college that we embrace and celebrate student success, and look forward to engaging each of you as we talk about where you go from here. The opportunity is in your hand. So thank you very much for the opportunity to give you some brief remarks.